morning to all of you. Today we are here for 6th National Conference. 6th National Conference on the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Here on the dais, Justice retired from Supreme Court, Srimati Ruma Pal, Srimati Stenhammer, Senior Srimati Ratna Additional Secretary WCD, another Additional Secretary of our Ministry, Sanyalji, Senior Officers of our Ministry, Women and Child Development and National Mission for Empowerment of Women, other senior officers of the central and state governments, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have gathered here to acknowledge the completion of very important milestone on 26 October 2006. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2006 was brought into force by the efforts of the Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India. It was a culmination of the aspiration of countless women activists, NGOs, lawyers. As we all know, the Act gives comprehensive and effective civil remedies with criminal procedures to ensure effective protection and relief to the victim of domestic violence. However, the Act was not the end of the journey, but the beginning. This Act was only the beginning. Once a law is made, the story does not end. A new chapter begins. As the Minister in charge of Women and Child Development, it is disappointing that with all the growth in GDP that the country has achieved over decades, our collective efforts have not earned the desired impact of our development indicators. In India, women generally do not have any control with household. Girl children remain unwanted and neglected and face violence within the very four walls, within their home, that are supposed to be their safe haven. We cannot only enact progressive new laws and think that our work is done. No, that is not. To make the law a reality of the women of India, it is our duty and responsibility to go further. We have to ensure implementation to serve both the letter and the spirit of the law. Hence, it is necessary to continuously monitor the law and find out it is actually meaningful for the lives of the women from whom it was made. Actually, it is not that we have just made the law and it is not implemented. If it is not implemented, this is our duty. This is our duty of the government, NGOs, activists, everywhere for the women. It is actually meaningful of the lives of the women for whom it was made. It is important to see in a central legislation whether the partners we depend on for implementation, our state governments have taken steps to make the law a reality. Because the state government and the central government all together can implement this law effectively in their states or all over the country. In another 3 years, we will complete a decade of the PWDV Act. I want that at the moment we all at the center and the state look back at the decade with pride and achievement, which is why today we need to take our reality check. My ministry has made a provision of around rupees 100 crore per annum for 2013 onwards for the appointment of protection officers who can exclusively work together towards implementation of the PWDA, this act for the 12th 5-year plan period. We would be assisting the state government in funding for 2 protection officers and 2 service providers in district and for office equipment, etc. I and 1 protection officer exclusively in subdivisional tehsil level 100 vulnerable districts. Total we have taken 100 vulnerable districts in this India. The best practices, manual and monitoring and evaluation tool we are launching today. It is to help us make this reality, check, to take stock of our action and to plan for further. I would like to congratulate the National Mission for Empowerment of Women, the Additional Secretary and ED is here, and the Lawyers Collective Women's Right Initiative for their unique efforts in monitoring the implementation of protection of women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. In all the states in the country, it is laudable that LCWRI has exercised this exercise for the last 6 years. And now we made, as she said, that we have made 2, 3, 4, 5 acts during this period. Protection of child from sexual offence act, protection of women from sexual harassment at workplace bill, which is already passed in the Lok Sabha, it is pending in Rajya Sabha. I think the next session we will pass this bill. There are so many other bills, Sabla, protection, Rajiv Gandhi Empowerment Adults and Girls, Sabla, Indira Gandhi Matritva Sahyog Yojana, this is for women. Though the collective efforts of the Ministry and the National Mission for Empowerment Women, UN Women and Lawyers Collective, we now have these resources, manual and tool which will help us strengthen the implementation of PWDVA. These useful and informative resources would not only help the stakeholders facilitate the implementation process, but also help us institutionalize the whole process of the monitoring and the evaluation of PWDA Act. Overall, it would effectively protect the human rights and freedom of the women and bring transformation to countless lives of women. I acknowledge all the states have their best practices highlighted in the best practice manual. It is my hope that there will be more proactive action and participation of all the state governments, and that the best practices manual can serve as guidelines for them. I hope these resources will inspire all stakeholders at the central and the state level to increase the consolidate and their action for effective implementation of this act. I am confident that together we will be able to make a difference and we can do better in our country to help women from domestic violence. Otherwise, a social evil, we all will all together to eradicate this social evil. Thank you very much.